Hello everyone and welcome to Daily Tops Guides. Today we'll dive into the three most important facts known so far about the death of Ebrahim Raisi, former president of Iran, who died at 63 years old in a tragic helicopter crash, alongside with 8 other men, including the Iranian foreign minister Hossein Amir-Abdollahian. The funeral ceremonies followed the tradition of large gatherings that have characterized the first 45 years of the Islamic Republic, similar to the one held after the death of General Qassem Soleimani, a high-ranking military official killed by the US strike in Iraq in 2020. So let's explore the top 3 facts known so far about the tragic event which took place on 19 May. Number 1. The crash involved a Bell 212 helicopter that Iran acquired in the early 2000s, according to Iranian. Iran has flown Bell helicopters extensively since the Shah era. However, due to Western sanctions, aircraft in Iran face a shortage of parts and often fly without safety checks. In this context, former Iranian foreign minister Mohammad Zarif blamed the United States for the crash. He stated, "One of the main culprits of yesterday's tragedy is the United States, which embargoed the sale of aircraft and aviation parts to Iran and does not allow the people of Iran to enjoy good aviation facilities." Ali Vaez, Iran project director with the International Crisis Group, noted that the US sanctions have long prevented Iran from renewing and repairing its fleet. However, he added that one can't overlook human error and the weather's role in this particular accident. Aerospace analyst Richard Abulafia suggested that Iran likely sources parts from the black market, but questioned whether Iran has the necessary maintenance skills to keep the older helicopters safe. Black market parts and whatever local maintenance capabilities they've got, that's not a good combination, he said. Also, former foreign minister Javad Zarif acidly told Iran State TV that one of the causes of this heartbreaking incident is the United States, which by sanctioning the sale of the aviation industry to Iran caused the martyrdom of the president and his companions. The US's crime will be recorded in the mind of the Iranian people and history. US officials quickly dismissed the allegation as baseless. According to aviation data firm Cirium, Iran currently has 15 Bell 212 helicopters registered with an average age of 35 years. These helicopters could either be in active use or in shortage. Also, in a commentary released by the Gulf International Forum, journalist Soros Ziabari highlighted that Iran's aviation sector has suffered from years of neglect, underinvestment, and harsh sanctions, resulting in recurring accidents and a decline in air transportation safety standards. But the scandalous statements of Ali Vaez and Javad Zarif, in which they blamed USA for the helicopter crash, did not remain unnoticed. White House National Security spokesman John Kirby called the accusation that US sanctions contribute to the baseless crash, adding, "Every country, no matter who they are, has a responsibility, their own responsibility to ensure the safety and reliability of its equipment. We have to assume that the supreme leader is the one who makes these decisions, and the supreme leader, as he did in the last so-called election, made sure to stack the deck with only candidates that met his mandates," Kirby said. State media identified the helicopter model, originally developed by US company for the Canadian military in the 1960s. According to the Flight Safety Foundation, the last fatal incident in Iran involving a Bell 212 before Sunday happened during a medical evacuation in April 2018. The helicopter model initially underwent manufacturing in Fort Worth, Texas, before transitioning its production to Mirabel, located outside Montreal, from 1988 to 1998, which marked its final year of production. Additionally, under a licensing agreement, it was also manufactured in Italy by Augusta. Number 2. Deadly Iran helicopter crash remains a mystery, as no authority declares the actual cause of it. Iranian authorities have so far not given a cause of the accident. Government ministers have described how the helicopter crashed after getting into difficulties in heavy fog and rain, appearing as a normal accident crash because of unfavorable weather conditions. However, the crash comes as the Israel-Hamas war roils the region. Iran-backed Hamas led the attack that started the conflict, and Hezbollah, also supported by Tehran, has fired rockets at Israel. In the midst of such devastating political events marked by terror and war, where conflicts between nations prevail, it's hard to believe that these events are purely coincidental and not potentially acts of sabotage. Historical instances have raised suspicions of using aviation accidents as means to eliminate national leaders or political rivals, remembering the case of Yevgeny Prigozhin, Rwandan's President Yuval Helbi Ardaman, or Mohammad Zia-al-Haq, who all died in similar conditions around risky political moves. Many speculations on this topic has occurred around the world, but the cause of the crash remains unclear. The Chief of Staff of the Iranian Armed Forces, Major General Mohammad Hossein Bagheri, has opened an investigation according to state media. Iranian officials mentioned that difficult weather conditions, including mountainous terrain and heavy fog, made search and rescue operations challenging. Despite this, 40 search teams, as confirmed by Hossein Kovalent, the president of the Iranian Red Crescent Society, were actively working on the ground. The body of the Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi and the other victims have been identified, and the deceased have been brought for funeral arrangements and ceremonies to begin. But besides all speculation on this topic, it is a well-known fact that helicopters are more dangerous than planes. John Golia, a former member of the National Transportation Safety Board, explained earlier this year to BBC that while automation helps with airplanes, helicopters demand a lot of focus from pilots. He noted that momentary distractions can have serious consequences due to this need for concentration. At present, there is no immediate indication of sabotage being a factor in the helicopter crash in Iran. Number 3. Ebrahim Raisi's unexpected death elicited reactions of both mourning and celebration around the world. While Iran's Islamist rules observe 5 days of mourning for President Ebrahim Raisi, who died in a helicopter crash in the country's northwest on Sunday, many Iranians opposing the Islamic Republic have been celebrating his demise, both domestically, internationally, and on social media. The late president was detested by opponents of Iran's authoritarian Islamist government for his crucial role as the prosecutor responsible for the mass execution of political prisoners in 1988 and for his use of presidential powers to violently suppress a women's rights protest movement that began nationwide in late 2022 and persisted into 2023. VOA Persian service received credible videos that seem to show people in various regions of Iran celebrating Raisi's death by sharing sweets and chocolates. During funeral ceremonies for President Ebrahim Raisi, Iranian authorities are cracking down on dissidents' families who are celebrating his death, issuing threats and making arrests. In exclusive interviews with Iran International English Desk, the families of slain protesters and survivors bleeding during the 2022 anti-regime protests in Iran are expressing relief, joy, and a renewed resolve to continue their fight for justice and freedom in the country. During Raisi's presidency, following directives from Iran's supreme leader Ali Khamenei, protests were brutally suppressed, resulting in the death of at least 500 protesters and the imprisonment of tens of thousands. Since then, families of protesters and dissidents have faced surveillance, threats, and intimidation from authorities to silence them about the fate of their loved ones. On the other hand, many countries expressed their condolences for the death of the president of Iran, such as Russia, Pakistan, or China. Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov expressed condolences over the death of 2 top officials he referred to as reliable friends of Russia. Lavrov stated, "Their contribution to strengthening the mutually beneficial Russian-Iranian cooperation and our trusting partnership are invaluable. Raisi was one of the outstanding politicians whose entire life was dedicated to serving his homeland," Putin wrote in a letter to Khamenei published on the Kremlin's website. As a true friend of Russia, he made an invaluable personal contribution to the development of good neighborly relations between our countries, and made great efforts to elevate them to the level of a strategic partnership, he declared. Shehbaz Sharif, the Prime Minister of Pakistan, announced a day of mourning in the country. May the souls of the martyrs rest in peace. The resilient Iranian nation will prevail over the tragedy with its customary courage, Zarif expressed on X. According to China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, President Xi Jinping described the tragic passing of Raisi as significant loss for both the Iranian and Chinese people, as we have lost a valued friend. Despite the opposing opinions that many Chinese reported on social media platforms about the event. Even Pope Francis sent condolences on the tragic event. On Monday, the Pope sent his sympathies to Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei after President Ebrahim Raisi's death in the helicopter accident. In a message written in English and addressed to Khamenei, the 87-year-old Pope expressed condolences for the loss of President Raisi, Foreign Minister Hossein, Amir-Abdollahian, and all others in the crash. He entrusted the departed soul to divine mercy and offered prayers for the grieving families, assuring spiritual support during this challenging period. As we can see, the tragic event has not only sparked controversy globally, but also led to various speculations regarding whether the helicopter crash was sabotaged. However, amidst the uncertainty, one fact remains clear. Both the president and the minister of Iran have tragically passed away. The focus now shifts to who will assume these crucial leadership roles and what direction Iran's future will take. So what are your insights regarding this matter? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments section below.